On this week's episode, we're talking the Book of Mando Fett. We are talking about Bruno also, and a Billboard 100 milestone. Jason Bateman visiting Harvard University, and casting calls and getting digitized for Whitney Houston. For the Hub on Hollywood, I'm James.
I'm Jamie. This is going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. Jamie, it is so good to be back. I know Ron did a fantastic job filling in last week, and I appreciate it. He had a very...
Well, we're happy you're back.
Thank you very much. I feel much better. But yeah, Ron, very insightful on Ozark. It makes me want to watch it, even though I do agree with you. When I first tried getting into it, it was just very like... There's no exhale time. There's no time to relax. Right. It's always, 100 miles per hour, it feels like. But
very
the
tense,
way Ron was talking about it, yeah, makes me want to see it now. But good to be back. And talking about good to be back, we had a very good visitor from the last episode of the Book of Boba Fett make a return, make his comeback, and that is Mando for the episode 6. And this one, I know how much you liked the last episode, episode 5, with some, a little asterisk here and there. But
like I said, 90% good, the rest, right, 90% good, the rest burned with fire. But yeah, go ahead.
Right. Yeah, but this one was amazing. Episode 6, directed by Dave Filoni, written by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau as well. And we are thrown so many more characters. Now, we were expecting... I don't know about you, but we were expecting more cameos as the Book of Boba unraveled and, the story progressed some more. But this episode blew so many doors wide open. But just to kind of recap, we first come back to, we see Cobb Vanth, played by Timothy Oliphant, as the marshal of the newly dubbed Freetown, and catching up to what he's been doing. And he's been, keeping order, keeping the spice trade off his territory for as long as possible. So that was great to see. And then we get thrown right back into Din Djarin, Mando, visiting the jungle planet of Ajon Kloss, where Luke is training baby Grogu, and we have baby Grogu joining us on this week's episode. But also joining us in this episode was R2-D2. That was great, of course, because wherever Luke goes, R2 follows. And so we see R2 taking Mando to the site of the first Jedi, what will become the first Jedi training temple. And then he meets up with Ahsoka, played by Rosario Dawson. Great to see her again, which I really wasn't expecting to see her in the Book of Boba, but that was a very great, nice surprise to see her. But then we get to the point where Mando is put in this situation. He's conflicted. One, he wants to, of course, to see baby Grogu, make sure he's okay, and to also drop off little Beskar chainmail to protect Grogu. But he knows, and as Ahsoka tells him, that, meeting up with Grogu again, because of their strong bond together, is going to jeopardize Grogu's training and his ability to remember everything that he's kind of, pushed down. But first of all, for the very beginning of this episode, how did you feel? I know you had some issues with some quote-unquote fan service in episode 5. What do you think about the quote-unquote fan service in episode 6?
Okay, so this is how you do good fan service, James. And like I said, Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, I love like 99% of what you do.
Yeah.
But what I had the issue with last episode was Mando, like, having all of this Skywalker connection around him and getting the Anakin Skywalker a starship and going on the Kessel Run and doing like going on like
pod racing,
this is pod racing, the pod racing course and all of that. Look, let the Skywalkers be Skywalkers and let the other characters be themselves. There is enough there for everyone. And so we have Luke Skywalker back in this episode, and we see him training baby Grogu.
So great.
And you know what? It is the best of classic Star Wars being brought into a new life that we could have possibly gotten. Look, this is the good fan service. This is, okay, we're getting a snapshot of where Luke is at this point in his life. This is his Luke in his prime. He's starting that ill-fated Jedi school of his. And Grogu is going to be the first student, if all goes well. So we're getting, we're getting that classic Star Wars, we're getting the training sequence. The same way that Yoda trained him, he is now training another member of Yoda's species in Baby Grogu, so that's very cool. You're getting a little bit of his wisdom and all of that. So that was really, really great to see. Yeah. Also, not only are we getting classic Star Wars elements, in this one episode, we're also getting the whole Western vibe from the second that Mando walked back on the scene of the Book of Boba with his little woo wah, wah, wah kind of thing. But he has a very Western kind of theme song or that follows him. And so you get that vibe immediately back, more so than I feel like Boba had with trying to consolidate his power on Tatooine. It felt more mobsterish than Western. So we've got the mobster, we've got the Western, we've got the classic Star Wars, we've got all of these new characters, including a brand new character from the animated series, right? The blue guy?
Yeah. Yeah, Cad Bane. So Cad Bane is a bounty hunter who debuted in the Clone Wars and who's actually a brainchild of Dave Filoni, an original character, kind of like Ahsoka, an original character from Dave Filoni. And Cad Bane, after the fall of Jango Fett, Boba's father, he becomes the most renowned and most dangerous bounty hunter in the galaxy, and we see that clear as day that he still has it after he approaches Cobb Vanth, and they do this high noon showdown, and Cad Bane gets the drop on not only on Vanth but also on his deputy as well, who made the mistake of drawing first. Let the marshal take care of business. I think he would have had a better shot, no pun intended, at Cad Bane. But I don't think we've seen the last of Cobb Vanth. I think his deputy is done. He's a goner.
Yeah.
After getting shot 3 times in the chest. You're not going to see much of him. But this reveal of Cad Bane, I had the same sense and feeling when they revealed this character, when the same feeling that I had when Ahsoka, when she back in The Mandalorian, and she was asking for Admiral Thrawn. And when that name dropped, you're like, oh, wow, we're going to see a live-action version of Thrawn.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing a live version of Cad Bane, which he has a lot of history with not only Boba Fett, who actually took Boba Fett under his wing for a while, but also with Fennec Shand back in, I believe it was in the Rebel series, but Fennec got the upper hand on Cad Bane. And so I think this is the perfect character to introduce as one of the big main bads to go up against Boba Fett, and so it's going to be interesting to see how much history they reveal. Carry over what was expressed in the Clone Wars and in Rebels, and what they're going to bring into the live action. But I loved how he looked. I thought he looked very accurate.
Yeah,
I know some people online were saying, "Oh, it's not perfect. There are some minor detail differences." It doesn't matter. This guy looks very good in the live action format. So I'm really excited to see how what he's going to be doing next. Of course, he's a very formidable foe, taking down 2 guys at once, and that gravelly voice, I love it. So that was great. One thing that was also great, going back a little bit earlier, was, like you said, Luke Skywalker in his prime. And this is the Luke Skywalker that I think a lot of people, and I've seen this with people talking about it, a love-hate relationship with this episode, because they love that this is the Luke that, not what we were promised, but we were hoping for, a Luke that's wiser, that is trying to rebuild the Jedi Order in his own way, in a new way that hopefully doesn't make the same mistakes as the past. But however, it makes people kind of angry, upset, kind of sad, knowing that even though this is the start of it, we know how it ends. We know that the Jedi Temple will be destroyed. We know that Luke loses hope. And one of the comments that he made to Grogu, saying, "Always stand up, always get back up." It's very sad to see that Luke advising Grogu to never give up eventually becomes a Luke that eventually gives up. When his best friends, when Leia, when Han, and when everybody else needs his help, he becomes a hermit. And so there was joy seeing the prime Luke in all his glory, and the Luke that many people were hoping we would have seen in The Last Jedi. But along with that excitement, there was just like that kind of somber feeling of, this is all going to disappear. This is all going to go away. What's going to happen to baby Grogu? And so it's going to be interesting. And speaking of what's going to happen to baby Grogu, we should be finding out which path he should take, and he's given the opportunity to follow the way of the Mandalorian or the way of the Jedi. What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't say it's opportunity, James.
Right.
You know, as soon as I saw the end of this episode, spoilers, obviously. So Luke sits Grogu down, and he's like, look, you know, Mando was here. He wants to give this to you. Shows him the little Beskar chainmail, which is just absolutely freaking adorable.
Yeah.
And then offers him Yoda's lightsaber. This itty-bitty, green, amazing, you know, Yoda-sized lightsaber. And then offers him a choice. You can only choose one. Either you take the chainmail and you go back to Daddy Mando and you become a Mandalorian, or you choose the way of the Jedi and you forsake all attachments and you become, you know, a monk there with Luke. I don't like how cut and dry that choice is. I don't like, you know, and it makes sense to me later when Luke says in the Last Jedi that the Jedi must die, because that way of being is not. It's not a good choice. You know what I mean?
That's the old way of
it's
thinking.
the old way of thinking. Right. It's that old Jedi Order mentality that he's trying to bring back that just doesn't work. And I think that that's what led to the fall of the Jedi in the first place. And it's going to lead him down that path of losing everything eventually again. But you know, that's my take on that. It's just it feels more real to me that something like that would have happened. Because ultimately I think the way of the Jedi was far too strict. And like I said, you're forcing right here in this episode this terrible choice on baby Grogu. And is he going to be a Mando? Is he going to go back to the Mandalorian? Or is he going to take Yoda's lightsaber and be a monk with Luke? What do you think he should choose? What do you think he should choose?
Me personally, I mean, I would. It's very tough because I think for Grogu's benefit, he may be better suited for the Jedi life, just because he is going to outlive Mando and everyone else, and so his attachment will be temporary, just because he's going to outlive Mando. Just, you know, simple species age-wise. But there's a part of my heart and soul that wants Grogu to return to Mando, and both of them, you know, train and do their own thing, and be partners and whatnot. But like Luke said, you know, a short time for you is a lifetime for somebody else. And so it is very difficult to say, you know, what is the right answer. Of course, I would like for him to do both. Like, take the chainmail, take the lightsaber, and adopt both different ways of lifestyles. But of course,
why can't you do both?
But Luke doesn't teach Mando lessons, and his fear right now, and I think his theory will evolve. But at this point, I think Luke is kind of attached to the idea of attachments could lead to the dark side, and maybe that's stuff that he's read from the Jedi, you know, the ancient books and everything, and that could be, you know, current state Luke thinking that, and maybe that could evolve, saying, you know what, attachments aren't necessarily terrible, so that could be coming down later, but yeah, I'm not quite sure what is the best for Grogu, but I do know if he does go with Mando, he will be loved.
Yeah. He'll be loved. Yeah, because Mando's missing him something terrible, and he loves his little baby enough to make him that Beskar armor.
The part that got me was when he's talking to Ahsoka, and he has to choose whether to not see Grogu or to deliver the chainmail, and then he's looking off at Grogu and Luke as they're on their hill,
right there.
And he goes, "I came all this way." He's right there.
He's right there.
He wants to go there. And again, I got to credit Pedro Pascal or whoever was donning the Mando suit at that time. But being able to convey emotions.
It's him. It's Pedro Pascal. It's Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, so he's able to portray emotions with a helmet on where you can't see his face. But it's all body language. And so, Pedro, he's doing a great job. Again, it's unfortunate that the best episodes of the Book of Boba are revolving around Mando. But you know what? We'll take what we can get. One thing I will add, though, is is the CGI for Luke. I think the CGI for Luke has gotten so much better. Not that the first version, his first reveal in The Mandalorian was terrible. It wasn't great, but it was just enough, just weird enough to notice, and it's kind of like that uncanny valley kind of situation going on. In this episode, and I watched it twice, I'm very impressed with how well they redid young Luke. The only criticism I would say was not in how he looked, but kind of how he spoke, because I think what they did was they recorded the lines, of course, and I think they recorded the lines how you do in a voiceover booth by yourself, where you're not interacting with other people, and so a lot of the lines seemed more like statements as opposed to a conversation back and forth. And so that's the only thing that kind of threw me off, but I can get over it for, just to get into the story. It was very easy. But look, I'm just nitpicking at that aspect. I would say the CGI looked great, the voice overwork, and again, what I mean by like direction, I feel like the comments or the statements he was making weren't directed to somebody per se when they were recording it, and it was kind of like he's just reading the lines and they plug them in, however they do it when they edit it. But what are your thoughts?
I feel like he was just trying to be all wise or whatever, and that might be why he delivered it that way. I just wanted to say real quick, if it was me, if I were Baby Yoda, if I was Baby Grogu, I would absolutely accept that lightsaber and then steal back the Mando armor and escape with both. But that's just me, But I wanted to get your take on this, James. Is Boba Fett going to make an appearance in his own show? Because
besides a cameo,
I've never seen anything like this, where another character comes in from another show, from the original show, because this is a spinoff, and just comes in and completely dominates it. And we're seeing things that we didn't think that we would see until the next episode, the next season of The Mandalorian. So if we're covering all this ground here and now, what's going to be in the next season of The Mandalorian? And are they showing too much now? And does it make sense? Because like I said, I've never seen anything like this, where someone's coming and taking over.
Yeah, I don't know. It is interesting the way Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, and the rest of the creators are lining this up. It is very peculiar, because I know the first 4 episodes were, they're lukewarm, no pun intended, in the audience reaction. But the last 2 episodes just knocked it out of the park. And so, of course, I think we are going to we have to see more of Boba. But I think the introduction of Cad Bane and his connection with Boba, Jango, and Fennec Shand, I think he's going to be playing a larger role. And so, since he was at the very end of the episode, I think I can imagine the next episode maybe leaning heavily with him, Cad Bane, and talking to the Pike and talking to whoever he's working with, and then that'll transition back into Boba. Hey, maybe Mando goes back to Tatooine. He finds out what happens to the Marshal, and this guy, this bounty hunter named Cad Bane came back, and then Boba. I know that guy. I used to roll with him, and so I for sure think Boba will of course be back. But it is quite interesting to see how this episode has turned out. But my one last quick rebuttal, because I have to. I will rebut against the Naboo starfighter. I don't think it's completely out of place. Again, the Republic. They were the old Republic. They were in power for a long time, and that army, or their army's fleet. They would have a lot of those I think starfighters, and after they break down, I'm sure a lot of them got sold off by the Empire, got dismantled, and that's what we kind of find that. So I didn't have a big problem with that at all. With the pod racing, with going through the canyon run. That pod racing canyon run is a very popular run, and I think it's known by a lot of people because every year they have the pod racing. So I think it's a very well-known track. Yeah, it's fan service, but I think it was good fan service. I think it was.
I disagree strongly, but that's okay.
and there's no saying that the Naboo starfighter belonged to Anakin. So I don't think there's a direct connection to Anakin.
It was the same kind.
It was the same kind. But it's not like. Yeah. Again, I'm sure they made a million of those starfighter fleets, those fighter planes, and then 2. If they had said a courageous boy flew this ship and it destroyed the spaceship, and I think that would be a lot. But I think just by having the ship there, I don't think it killed the vibe of the episode, or is too bad fan service. But that's my hot take. Let us know what you think. Have you watched the last 2 episodes of the Book of Boba or the Book of Mando Fett?
The Book of Mando Fett.
Comment down below. Yeah.
Because at this point, we don't talk about Boba, because it's just all Mando.
No. Yeah.
That's from Ron.
So comment down below. Let us know what you think. Remember, you can always catch us on all the social medias. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok, @Hub on Hollywood.
Yeah.
If you are watching us on YouTube, thank you very much. Give us a like. Give us a share. Give us a subscribe. Be sure to follow all our latest episodes as we break down not only this, but the news that's going on in and around New England. Also, you can listen to us on any of the major podcasting streaming services: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to your podcasts, we are there. But where we are going now is, I think, casting calls would be a good fit, because not only do we have a regular list of castings that we're going to go through, but you're going to touch on some I guess, the new wave, a new, maybe COVID-inspired,
super cool
digital. Yeah.
Yes, partially COVID-inspired, but really cool technology, where you get to be in a movie without even being in a movie. Okay, so it's called volumetric capture services, film services. And what they do is you go into a room and they scan, like they dress you up just like you're going to be in a movie, and they scan your entire body into the computer. And then they digitally insert you into the movie, James. So right now through Boston Casting, they're looking for people for various days over the next couple of months to be scanned, digitally inserted into the I Want to Dance with Somebody Whitney Houston biopic, which they've wrapped on principal photography. So now I guess they're just filling in the gaps. I know there were a lot of scenes where they needed big audiences and big crowds. So if you would like to be digitally transported to a Whitney Houston concert in the movie I Want to Dance with Somebody, you're going to want to sign up for Boston Casting to get those notifications. They're looking pretty much for people of all shapes and sizes and ages and constellation, across the constellation there. And you will get paid, SAG gets paid their standard rate. I'm not sure how long it takes to get scanned completely, 3D wise, into their system, but I imagine it doesn't take the whole day. So that's really cool. I've never seen a casting like this so far, James. So that's really awesome technology.
So I'm actually curious how this may work, since this is new. Like, will the digital scans of these people for this movie be used only once, or will the studio makers have creative control or licensing over that, and they can use that same body in another movie, in another background or whatever? And if that does happen, does the person get paid for that residual, or is it just kind of like a one and done? You've given your body, you've licensed your body to someone else.
It sounds like it's a one and done type deal, but it might be only for this film. You got to read the fine print, but right. That's an excellent question. That's an excellent question. So if you do get picked for something like this, read the fine print, let us know. But they are picture picking folks by production. So odds are they'll probably see you in some capacity. So it's very interesting. It's definitely something that they talked about a lot when COVID was first happening, like trying to minimize the number of people who are on set while still, having a movie and having, the background that you need to make a movie realistic. What they've done mostly is just had really stringent COVID protocols and testing and masking and like different zones of a movie set where you can and can't be, so that's mostly what I've seen been done, and this is the first time I've seen that they're scanning and digitally inserting extra people into the film, so that they didn't have to have them on set.
So where can they go to find out about this or to
Yep.
apply?
So that's all through Boston Casting. You go to their website, bostoncasting.com, sign up, get the emails, and they are looking for multiple dates, lots of different kinds of people. So that's a really interesting one. Also, Boston Casting is also looking for folks for Kevin Can F Himself season 2, which is filming here in and around the Boston area. Like I said, I Want to Dance with Somebody is the volumetric one. And The Holdovers, a film starring Paul Giamatti, about a teacher, a cook, and a kid who get left at a prep school over the holidays. Real curmudgeon-y teacher is going to be played by Paul Giamatti. And they're just starting to film and looking for background. And that is all through Boston Casting. So you're going to want to sign up with them to get updates on that.
All right, so CP Casting, they're looking for a boy 6 to 9 years old who can portray the son of Keira Knightley. This is for, presumably, the feature film Boston Strangler that's filming in central Massachusetts. Yes. This is shooting on February 28th through March 4th. And so if you have somebody who fits the description of Keira Knightley, we can also show the picture of the husband who will play the father. Send your child's full name, date of birth, resume, acting experience, where you live, recent photos. Send that to cpcastingsubmission@gmail.com. Boston Casting, looking for some strong, muscular men. Now, I was going to apply for this one, but you know what? I'm very humble. I don't want to flaunt what I got. So
You're busy. You're busy, James.
I'm a very busy guy. I'm a very busy guy. But if there are some other busy, strong, muscular men who are not busy, there is a commercial shooting for $1,000. You can send your name, contact photos, location. In the subject line of the email, put strongman. But you're going to want to send all that to Boston Casting Submit, the number 5, at gmail.com, Boston Casting Submit 5 at gmail.com. Now, this last one for myself is pretty cool. Slay Casting, looking for UMass students and faculty. This is for a local ad campaign to obviously promote the university, but they're looking for everybody, students, faculty, musicians, groups of friends who are out there. This pays up to $1,300 per person, and so you can email your name, contact information, photos, and a little bit, a little backstory about yourself. Send that to slaterealpeoplecasting@gmail.com. So if you are a UMass student, faculty member, or if you know somebody, if your kid goes to UMass, be sure to send them a link to this episode. Let them know that they can send all that information to slaterealpeoplecasting@gmail.com.
Awesome. And one last one for me. Lots of great stuff in our area right now. Boston Casting is looking for non-binary and gender-fluid actors for a project. You're going to want to send your name, contact info, where you're located, resume, bio, headshots, all that to Boston Casting headshot and resume @gmail.com.
Okay, and so this is really cool. Jason Bateman of Ozark and Arrested Development fame, we were just talking about him. Oh, you and Ron were just talking about him last week. But he is named the Hasty Pudding Man of the Year. Go Jason Bateman. Go Jason Bateman. So he was in Cambridge Thursday night, and he was bestowed the honor by Harvard University's Hasty Pudding Theatricals. And he earned his pudding pots, a little gold-looking pudding pot shrine. And so he earned that in recognition for his lasting and impressive contributions to the world of entertainment. But, this is a different kind of award show. They don't just give this to anybody. You have to be not only embarrassed, but you have to go through some challenges in order to get the precious pudding pots. And so he had to endure some challenges, including singing a song with a frozen banana in reference to his Arrested Development character, dressing up in weird costumes, and including putting on a very sparkly bra. I'm not sure if you saw the video.
Oh Lord,
but
no.
Yes. So
this is great.
This is a big shindig. It's all in good fun, going over the career and the life of Jason Bateman. And so it's really cool to see him over here in our neck of the woods, just a stone's throw away.
Ron would have loved it. Yeah.
Will Arnett was also there, his former coworker and of Arrested Development, and one of his real life best friends, Will Arnett, was there. So that was really great. Just a little quick recap for the Pudding Pot, or the Hasty Pudding Man of the Year Award. First handed out in 1967, and the Woman of the Year was first handed out in 1951. Again, just to show appreciation and acknowledgement of somebody who left such a lasting and impactful presence in the entertainment industry. So Jason Bateman, congratulations. Jennifer Garner, she's going to be receiving her Woman of the Year Pudding Pot Award tonight, actually, on Saturday. So go Jennifer Garner, and congratulations, Jason Bateman.
Ooh, and watch out for all the ice out there.
Ooh, yeah, not a good day to be walking around in Boston, especially. Gosh, a little ice storm.
You know who might be causing that ice storm? But apparently, who has competition is Elsa from Frozen. She's freezing it all. She's singing "Let It Go, Let It Go."
Get out of here, Elsa.
But apparently, that song, as much of an earworm as it was, James, not the top Disney movie song. It's got a huge challenger right now. So do you want to talk about Bruno?
We are going to be talking about Bruno. So Encanto, we have reviewed Encanto a couple episodes back. If you haven't watched it, watch it. But it's funny because I just watched it today also. So kind of getting back into the mood. But talking about earworms, yes, we don't talk about Bruno, the smash hits song that came out of Encanto. And it's been climbing up the Billboard chart. And it has officially tied with Aladdin's A Whole New World as the highest charting Disney animation song of all time, hitting #1 on the Billboard 100 in January. Now, to tie with A Whole New World, Bruno passed by Frozen's Let It Go, passed by Elton John's Can You Feel the Love Tonight from Lion King, and also passed Pocahontas's Color of the Wind. Amazing song. I'm sure if you haven't seen the movie, you've probably heard the song or heard somebody singing the song because it's everywhere. Billboard says Bruno dethroned even Adele, Easy on Me, with 34.9 million U.S. streams. And on YouTube, as of this morning, We Don't Talk About Bruno has over 175 million views.
Yes.
Half of those coming from my home.
Yes. Well, I believe that entirely because we've watched it a few million times here just in our house alone. You know, when kids get obsessed with something in particular, it goes on forever. They will watch it every minute of every day, you know, over and over again for like 6 months straight. So that does not surprise me. We don't talk about Bruno. No.
But congratulations to Lin-Manuel
Miranda. Yep.
I was just talking to my fiance who was saying, you know, after Hamilton, people are like, what can you possibly do next to top Hamilton? And I'm not saying Encanto is better than Hamilton. However, but this song is a smash hit and just shows that there's still plenty of Lin-Manuel Miranda magic out there to put together a really good song. Not only this song, but he has many other great songs in Encanto. But this one is just resonating with so many people. And so that got me thinking, what are some songs that resonated with us as we were growing up watching these Disney films? And so I'm not sure if you have your list ready, but I can go down my list. We can go one and one. This is no particular order, but some of my personal favorite top Disney songs includes Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid. It's such a good song. And I don't know, for some reason, like that song, among with some others on my list, I don't know why, but it gives me goosebumps at certain parts of it because it makes you, I don't know, I watched it countless times as a kid, and so you kind of have that feeling as a child of like wanting to spread your legs, not spread your legs, but spread your wings. Okay. The reason why I said spread your legs
is because she's a mermaid. Because she's a mermaid.
Because Ariel is a mermaid who wants legs so she can jump, so she can dance, and so she can run on the sand.
What were you watching?
Oh my goodness. totally different movie, but but Part of Your World is such a great song about wanting to do more or to be something more than what you are, and to strive for something more than what you have. And so I think Part of Your World is a great one. Before I embarrass myself more, what is your favorite Disney?
I can't top that. I can't top it, James. Let's see.
Goodness.
Going back to G-rated. Let's go. Let It Go is one of my favorite. You can't go wrong with Idina Menzel. And I mean, it's just so hard to pick. It's so hard to choose from the history of all of these Disney musicals. There's so many incredible songs that resonate, touch your soul, and all of that. It's really tough to narrow them down, but Let It Go is definitely one that resonated with me, and helped me during some tough times. So I really loved that one. What's the next one on your list?
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta let it go. Now my next one is another Little Mermaid song. I don't know why, but I love Little Mermaid. But "Poor Unfortunate Soul" by Ursula. That whole sequence where she's tricking pretty much Ariel to gain her voice and kind of curse her to become eventually this little pruny prawn at the bottom of the ocean. But "Poor Unfortunate Soul," I'm forgetting the actress's name who sang it and who was the voice of Ursula, but such a powerful voice, and and so that one, whenever that comes on, crank it up. One really quick one that's not Little Mermaid related, Hercules, Zero to Hero is a really good song.
Zero to Hero.
Hercules is a really good card. Boom, Zero to Hero. Yeah, so that's a really good one. Top there, yeah.
Yeah, so obviously Aladdin, it was the top of the Billboard charts. That's one of my tops for sure. I can show you the world. But also pretty much everything else from Aladdin. But there was one little ditty where it's riff raff, street rap. I don't buy that. It's just very touching and moving and intimate little ditty there. So Aladdin, I Can Show You the World, and pretty much everything from Aladdin is also on my list.
Nice. Another follow-up, another Hercules song. I Won't Say I'm in Love, when the female character who falls in love with Hercules. That's such a good song too, that could fit on it. That could just be its own solo song that anybody could just put on the radio. So it fits perfectly in the movie, but I think that song by itself, really good. Going back to The Lion King, Be Prepared, Scar. That's I think one of the best songs in The Lion King. So good. Yeah. And lastly, to wrap up my list, coming from Mulan, I'll Make a Man Out of You. Be a man, you must be swift as the storming river, with all the strength of a great typhoon. It's so good, and so that makes you want to work out and start I don't know, swinging stuff. But that's a really good one too. That is a definite favorite.
Make a man out of you. Perfect. I feel like you need to be singing more of these, James.
I should be.
You should
I'm
be.
using the excuse that I'm getting better to save my voice.
Yeah,
and so,
okay,
that's my excuse.
fine.
Next time.
Well, the rest of my list, more Lin-Manuel Miranda. Pretty much all the music from Moana. The thank you song that what's his name, Maui sings.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Which he actually sings. What can I say except you're welcome?
And apparently he sings it for little kids on the street, little kids.
That's great.
The parents will go, "This is the guy from Moana," and then he starts singing it. So you go, Rock, keep doing your thing.
Yeah, but mostly the How Far I'll Go, and How Far I'll Go, which is a really great one. And just rounding out my list is The Color of the Wind, from Pocahontas, and Just Around the River Bend.
The River Bend.
Yes, just around the river bend.
Yeah,
and
so
then,
good. Again, a lot of these songs give me goosebumps.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know if it's part of nostalgia or just I don't know just how good these songs are. But if a song could give me goosebumps, then it's going to be in my permanent rotation. So
That's right.
That's a really good list.
All right. And what about you guys? What is on your list? What are your top Disney songs? What are the ones that, are your guilty pleasures and you're always playing on your devices and whatnot? Let us know.
My new one is We Don't Talk About Bruno. So that's a given. My new, it's on the list of favorites now because that one is a real earworm. And it's funny, every now and then I'm just walking around the house and like, we don't talk about Bruno.
Yeah.
And now
okay,
I incorporate my cat into the song.
Yeah, nice.
It's crazy. It's terrible.
And people who don't even know about the movie, like, know the song, hear the song everywhere. So, definite earworm that we're not escaping anytime soon. And don't escape from us. Continue to join us. No. Continue to join us here on the Hub on Hollywood. Listen to us wherever podcasts are heard. Find us on social media, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Instas. Search Hub on Hollywood. We are there waiting for you to join the conversation. Have fun with us. This was a fun one. James, but unless you've got anything else to add, I think.
I'm good.
Yep. All right. Until next week, we'll see you guys. I'm Jamie.
Bye. I'm James. Bye.
See you.